Welcome, creative adventurers. Thank you for stopping by today. I'm Debbie Cohn with D Cohn Designs. I'm so glad you're here. I'm very excited today. I'm announcing my latest quilt along. It's called A Walk in the Stars. Please stay tuned to the end where I tell you how to get 2 free items by signing up for my email list on my blog. This will be a 6-week quilt along through September 2023 and October 2023. The Quilt Along videos will be coming out on Wednesdays throughout September and October, so be sure to hit that notifications bell so you don't miss anything. We will take a 1-week break in September and a 1-week break in October as well. That will give you some time to catch up if you're running a tiny bit behind. It's no problem. If you're seeing this video after the Quilt Along has started, jump right on in at any time. I will have the free block patterns and instructions available for free through the end of November 2023. After that, I'll be taking all of the block patterns down, consolidating them into one single pattern, adding 3 more sizes, and making it available for purchase on my website. So don't forget, be sure to tune in every week and download the free block patterns now through the end of November. Let me give you an overview of the Quilt Along. When I was designing this quilt, I wanted to use star blocks. I love star blocks, so I designed this quilt to use 5 different star blocks. I'm really happy that I got to use 5 different star blocks, especially my most favorite star block, the sawtooth star. For this quilt along, you will have your choice of 2 different sizes. There will be a small baby or wall hanging size at approximately 49 by 51, or you could also sew the throw size at 56 by 74. So let's take a look at how the quilt is put together. As you can see from the quilt behind me, this is the sample that I made. It's using Marvel Comics fabrics that I found at my local Walmart. In the background, I have a white-on-white checkerboard race that I really think is effective in this quilt. The quilt itself is composed of 4 different rows of 5 different stars, so you make each star 4 times. The throw size also includes a small inner border and a little bit larger outer border. If you don't want to make the throw size, the baby size is even quicker and easier. It's just 3 rows of stars, no row sashing and no borders. You just sew the 3 rows and bind it and you're done. So let's look at the stars in each row. As you can see behind me, the big one here is called the star flower block. This one is the Missouri star. This one, of course, is the sawtooth star. Over here we have the Ohio star. And last but not least, the friendship star. Again, you'll be making 4 of each block. The way that we'll be sewing these blocks is I will start with week 1 with the blocks that are easiest and progress through the quilt along to the most difficult block. Now, none of them are very difficult. However, if you're a beginning quilter, the way I'm doing it will build up your confidence. We're starting with the 2 simplest blocks, which are just half square triangles, which are the friendship star and the star flower blocks. Next, we'll sew the Ohio star. The following week, we'll sew the sawtooth star. And then the last week before we finish will be the Missouri star, which is a little bit more challenging, but not too hard. We can do this. If I can do it, you can do it. So let's talk about the fabrics. In the quilt behind me, I chose a mixture of prints and solids. You'll want to make sure that the fabrics you choose have a high contrast with one another and with the background fabric you choose. During the quilt along, I will be sewing another throw quilt, but I'm going to reverse the background to make it a dark background against some focal fabrics. Let me show you what I mean. As you can see on the left in the photo, that I have chosen Bundle Up by Henry Glass. I chose 4 fat quarters and a couple yards of background. On the right hand side, you can see that I have supplemented with 4 more fat quarters from my stash. I had the solid red, the navy with small white stars, a white-on-white snowflake, and a red with white snowflakes fabric, all from my stash. I think all of these will complement each other really well. If you're interested, my Bundle Up fabrics by Henry Glass I purchased from my local quilt store, 35th Avenue Vac and Sew. Shout out to Jackie, Carolyn, and their staff for helping me. And the white-on-white snowflake and the red with white snowflakes I purchased at my local Joann's last year. I looked around at my local quilt store and online, and I found a few other holiday-themed fabrics which would look good on this quilt. Here are a few examples. Frosty Merriments by Wilmington. This would be best in a dark gray or a navy background. Holiday Elegance by Hoffman, or Candy Cane Lane by April Rosenthal for Moda Fabrics. But what if you don't want to sew a holiday quilt right now? That's perfectly fine. I think this quilt would look awesome in red, white, and blue, and the throw size will meet the Quilt of Valor requirements. It would also look great as a baby quilt. You could even do it in some autumn fabrics. One question you might have is, would this be suitable for sewing with scraps? My answer is yes, as long as you have at least fat quarter size for some of the fabrics that you need. For the smaller pieces within the stars, you could use smaller scraps, but ideally you'd have at least probably 5 fat quarters with a high contrast amongst all of them, and then the background, and then you could use the scraps to fill in with other coordinating fabrics. Go to dconedesigns.com and sign up under email in the box on the main page of the blog. Those 2 free items are a project checklist just for this quilt along and fabric labels that you can use as you're working with your fabrics during the quilt along. So I hope you'll take advantage of these freebies and sign up for my email and newsletter list on my website. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and tell a friend. Be sure to let them know about the quilt along too. Maybe you'll have a sewing buddy. If you have any questions about the quilt along, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll respond as fast as I can. And then please let me know in the comments, what is your favorite star block? I'd love to know. Stay tuned for next week when we start on our first 2 blocks, the Star Flower block and the Friendship Star block. They're easy. They're both half square triangles. We just have one that's smaller and one that's larger. You can do this. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next week.